Welcome to the Muscles and Veggies Fitness Podcast. This is where you get nutrition, health, fitness, performance, all perfectly packaged together in a bite-sized podcast to help educate and motivate you to stay on your fitness journey. This week's weekly coaching session is entirely centered around vitamin C. Why do we need vitamin C? Why do we need antioxidants? And what causes oxidation to happen in the first place? These are some of the things I want to break down in today's show. But specifically, when we think about the topic of vitamin C and antioxidants, why do we need these things? The body does not make them endogenously. We have to consume them. And believe it or not, humans are actually one of the only species on the planet that don't make vitamin C. We have to consume it. Most species on the planet do actually make vitamin C. So here's the thing, though. When we talk about antioxidants and vitamin C, what causes the oxidation to happen in the first place? Because if we can limit the things that cause oxidation inside of us, we can use and need less antioxidants, okay? And we're also going to talk about all of the rich, plentiful sources of vitamin C that will actually counteract some of these negative things of oxidation that I'm going to talk about. So first, let's address that. That's a good place to start, is what causes oxidation to happen in the human body. Well, number one is glucose. Excess glucose in the body creates oxidation inside of our blood and inside of our tissues. This oxidation is highly inflammatory and causes lots of problems, and it actually upregulates the immune system to try to quell or put out this inflammation and oxidation. The number one thing is glucose. So we want to make sure, like always we're talking about on this show with nutrition, is that we're managing our glucose properly. Not saying that we do no glucose, and just like if you listen to my last couple shows, you'll definitely see that I'm not a no-carb advocate or anything like that, at least not for long periods of time. But we do want to manage our blood glucose, and we want to eat colorful carbs and not just white carbs, because white carbs are what's going to cause this oxidation to happen, including liquid carbs or added sugars that are in lots of drinks nowadays. That's going to cause lots of oxidation. The other thing, that the number two way that causes oxidation, is vegetable oils. So omega-6 rich oils cause oxidation in the body. These are rancid fats that are highly processed, and they cause lots of oxidation inside of us. Number three is high iron. So a lot of people who eat lots of red meat, I eat lots of red meat, so I particularly have to take a lot of vitamin C or eat a lot of vitamin C. But you want to make sure you have a good idea of where your iron levels are at. I see a lot of people who are low iron, but we also don't want to be high iron either, okay? Number four is pollution and allergens. They actually will cause oxidation inside of our bodies. So if you're allergic to a lot of things, including food allergies, environmental allergens, or even just pollution, these things can cause oxidation in the body. Breathing, exhaust fumes, diesel fumes, paint chemicals, solvents, whatever it is, these things can cause oxidative damage. And that goes to number five, which is chemicals. You think about cleaning chemicals, chemicals that are in so many of the products that we use. We have to take into consideration these things do cause oxidative damage inside of us. And number six is pretty obvious when you think of terms of why people take vitamin C, but viral and bacterial and pathogen infections will cause lots of oxidation in the body. And primarily all three of those things raise inflammation, and that raises oxidation. And then we need vitamin C to put out that fire. Remember, it's an antioxidant. And then lastly, but probably most obvious, is you just flat out don't eat enough fruits and vegetables that are rich in vitamin C. So that will cause oxidation because you just don't have enough of the antioxidant to, again, put out the fire, so to speak. And vitamin C is crucial not just for oxidation, Vitamin C acts as like kind of like an enzymatic process in helping us to form our collagen matrix and digest some of our proteins or not digest, but convert them into amino acids. So really, you have poor protein metabolism if you don't have enough vitamin C, which is part of the reason that I'm talking about this. This is important to me because I want good protein metabolism. I want to keep my muscle mass around. It is my metabolism. So muscle mass is near and dear to me. I was telling the guys in the gym the other day, I don't really care as much as I used to about my aesthetics. I literally just want a robust metabolism so that I can eat whatever I want when I go out to dinner and on the weekends with family and friends. And I don't have to worry about gaining weight or gaining body fat or anything like that. And now, granted, on this show, we talk lots about owning your Monday through Friday and how important that is. And I do that. But on the weekend, I fully believe that we should eat and drink and enjoy our hard work and enjoy that social time with family and friends. But we shouldn't have to pay for it with grueling workouts in the gym and these, crazy sessions where we have to beat the tar out of ourselves because of what we consumed over the weekend. No, I just literally hop back on the horse on Monday. I get in some resistance training. I smoothie salad roasted. For any of you guys who are new listening to the show, go back and listen to like episode number 1. Go back and listen to some of my episodes about nutrition. We talk all about smoothie salad roasted and making this as simple as possible. But so you can see why this topic of vitamin C is really important to me, because it's in alignment with all the things that I talk about when it comes to keeping your muscle mass, keeping inflammation and oxidation low, and also keeping your whole real foods high. So what are some of the foods that help us to have higher levels of vitamin C? Well, I didn't know this until I was doing some research, but sauerkraut is one of the richest sources of vitamin C that we can actually consume. And sauerkraut is incredibly beneficial for our gut bacteria and our digestive system as well. So I'm going to up my sauerkraut game. My wife makes a mean sauerkraut out of cabbage and carrots shredded, and then she literally just leaves that out in a container with kind of a cheesecloth over it and lets that ferment. And man, it is tasty. And I know there's other ways to do it, which is the one I want to add is the second thing on the list, which is red and green bell peppers. They are highly, highly rich in vitamin C. And you can also include those into your sauerkraut as well. So just to give you perspective, people always talk about oranges and lemons and limes and how they're rich in vitamin C, right? Well, like an orange for one orange compared to one serving of sauerkraut, it's like one serving of sauerkraut is like eating 7 oranges. Think about that for a second. I couldn't sit down and eat 7 oranges if I tried, I don't think. So eating one bowl of sauerkraut is the equivalent of that in vitamin C. So I talked about bell peppers. Broccoli is another rich source. Blueberries and raspberries are another rich source. Cherries, kiwi, grapefruit, Brussels sprouts. I love me some roasted Brussels. Lemons and limes, obviously. Salad greens. So let's just talk for a second about the big salad that I always advocate. You guys see me posting pictures of this, and I'm like all about the lunchtime big salad. I don't even like to call it a big salad. It's just a rich salad. So we talk about spring mix, carrots, beets, blueberries, dried cranberries, walnuts, olive oil, salt. Sometimes I will actually put on there different things that I have in the fridge, but that's the mainstay is those things I listed. So every day around noon, and my cherry tomatoes from the garden, thank you, which is another rich source of vitamin C. If you didn't know, tomatoes are another rich source. So these things are giving me a massive dose of very bioavailable vitamin C, because although I do supplement vitamin C, which we'll talk about here in a second, food is much more bioavailable than the supplement form. In other words, a little goes a long way with food compared to like 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C and absorbic acid, or the other forms of supplemental vitamin C. So let's talk. Am I done with food? We should be consuming these things. We should be consuming rich sources of vitamin C on a normal basis. And again, going back to the colorful carbs versus white carbs, all these carbs I just mentioned, berries, cherries, kiwi, grapefruit, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, the sauerkraut, the peppers, the lemons, the limes, the salad, all this stuff. And I didn't even mention oranges, apples, all these other fruits, okay? All of these things are your colorful carbs. So again, think about white carbs. Do they have vitamin C in them? Does oatmeal or flour or potatoes? Yeah, I guess potatoes actually does have a little vitamin. So scratch that one, listeners. Scratch that, potatoes. But most of our white carbohydrates, white rice, white bread, white crackers, pasta, that's completely devoid of vitamin C. But what about our colorful carbs? Very, very rich sources of vitamin C, which will quell inflammation, which will quell oxidation. So let's talk about supplementation, because I know that that's eventually where this conversation is leading, because no shame to any of you, but we're all lazy and we just want to take a pill and take a supplement because it's easier than forcing myself to eat the colors of the rainbow every single day of the week, right? And really, let's just talk about who should be supplementing, like no shadow of a doubt, who should be supplementing. Well, number one, people that have a lot of allergies or allergic reactions, especially food allergies, they should be taking in a lot of supplemental vitamin C in high doses. And we're going to talk about what those doses are. Somebody who's diabetic or has glucose issues, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, that kind of thing. Or even if you're just, you're obese and you've got work to do, I would supplement with vitamin C plus eating the colors of the rainbow at the same time. Because again, we're trying to bring down oxidative damage and inflammation. Let's talk about people who eat a lot of red meat, like myself, because remember, red meat is high in iron. And those of us who generate a lot of iron, especially men who have high testosterone or a normal level of testosterone, and you eat red meat, you're going to generate a lot of iron. And that's important that we have a lot of vitamin C alongside that. Again, people that know that they have either viruses, bacteria, or parasites. Okay, so let's say you're prone to SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. You just had the flu, or I'm not going to say the pandemic word. You had one of these viruses. Yeah, it's probably a really good opportunity to supplement with vitamin C in high doses. And then people, again, who just flat out hate fruits and vegetables, you should be supplementing without a shadow of a doubt. And you should just make it a mainstay of your daily approach to supplement with vitamin C. Treat it just like you would any other pharmaceutical. So what would I recommend for these type of people that could obviously use a high dose of vitamin C? Well, there's tons of research right now going on with cancer and IV intravenous vitamin C. If you don't know anything about that, look it up. It's super interesting. But quelling inflammation and oxidative damage slows down, and acidity. Slowing down acidity and being more alkaline will slow down the growth of cancer. So what are all those foods I listed? Are they acidic or are they alkaline? They are all alkaline foods. So fruits and vegetables are naturally alkaline, which is really weird because you would think a lime or a lemon or grapefruit would be super acidic, but it's not. It's not to the body. That's the weird thing, is inside the body, it acts as an alkalizing food. So I say all that to say that with supplementation, high doses of vitamin C can help quell oxidative damage and inflammation. I advocate 1,000 to 3,000 milligrams per day for somebody who knows they should be taking it, right? I personally take about 1,500 a day. I take 500 in the morning and 1,000 in the evening. And believe it or not, I take it actually right before bed. And the reason why is because I am prone to having higher histamine. And I know this just from years of trial and error. Like, I cannot do red wine at all. Red wine's very high in histamine, and it will make my heart palpitate during the night. So I can see it on my data on my Garmin or Oura Ring that my heart rate is higher through the night. Another reason you can tell is you may get sniffly, or you may get, symptoms of like a histamine reaction. Most of the times it's sniffly or coughy or just kind of congested. And so what I found was is taking the vitamin C before bed. It lowers my heart rate and it clears up my sinuses before I go to sleep, and I actually sleep better. So if you're somebody who struggles with any of that I just mentioned, try it. Try taking 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C before bed. What's a great place to get vitamin C? Well, thorn.com. You guys that have been listening to the show for a long time know that you're probably already using it if you've been listening for a long time, because I offer 25% off to anyone who's a listener of this show or a client of mine to thorn.com supplements. Best supplements in the game. Mayo Clinic uses Thorn. USA Olympic team uses Thorn. Thorn is the cream of the crop, and yes, you do get what you pay for, but they have a really, really nice vitamin C supplement that Deborah and I take, and it's relatively inexpensive. I mean, I think like a 30-day supplies is like under $15, and it's high dose, so I don't have to take a bunch of pills. I can just take like 1 or 2 pills. I think they're 500 milligrams a piece. And super high quality. I know what I'm getting. I'm not buying my supplements off of Walmart or Amazon or things like that are garbage. Okay, so most of the time they are garbage. So 1 to 3,000 milligrams per day for somebody who knows they need it. Obviously, the worse you're eating, the more you can up the dosage and get on the higher end of that 2 to 3,000 milligrams per day range. The better you're eating, the less you can take. Okay, so maybe you're only taking 500 in the morning and 500 at night. Okay, but the important thing to understand is we need vitamin C to quell oxidative damage. And just to recap what we learned today, glucose in excess, too many carbs, too much sugar causes oxidative damage. So does vegetable oils, so does pollution and allergens or chemicals, bacterial and viral infections. We have to eat enough of these antioxidants naturally to quell the things that are constantly attacking us on a daily basis. So the foods that are rich, remember we said sauerkraut, peppers, broccoli, berries, cherries, kiwi, grapefruit, Brussels, lemon, lime, salads, eat your salads. And then, of course, you can supplement with thorn.com. All you have to do to get that 25% off is send me an email. My email is in the show notes. Literally just click below, shoot me an email, say, hey, I want to join the client invite list and get hooked up with a 25% off. I will not email you any other things or spam you or anything like that. I literally will just send you an invite from Thorn, and you'll accept that invite, make a login, and every time you log into that account, you'll get 25% off of the entire store, besides testing, because they do offer at-home testing now as well. So that's it for today. I will see you guys next week for another weekly coaching session. Take your vitamin C. Eat your fruits and vegetables, your colorful carbs, ditch the white carbs, and let's all lower inflammation and be happier, healthier people together. Thanks for listening today. I'll see you guys next week.